Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel where we talk about neuroscience and everything. This is part 2 of my video of how to improve mental health. If you've already seen part 1, you know that we've talked about what is mental health and what are the levels of mental health. If you haven't seen it, go check that out first and then come back to this video. And if you have seen it, let's dive right into it. How do you improve mental health? Step number 1. Is there a problem? Now, this is a question that I get asked a surprising amount of time, which is how do I know if there is an issue with my mental health? And the way I usually tackle this is I ask them, how do you know if you have a physical problem? For example, how do you know if you have a knee issue? Well, they'd say, well, I'll have pain in my knee. Exactly. If you have something that you are aware of, you are able to deal with it much better. And after that, you can then decide how serious it is. For example, do you have knee pain only when you lift something heavy? Then you have a knee issue. But what if you have knee pain even if you climb the stairs? Then you have a more serious knee problem. And what if you have knee pain even if you're just sitting or lying down? That means you have a very serious knee problem. Similarly, when it comes to mental health, there is something that you want to do, but you're unable to do because of some reason, and that is awareness of the problem. We don't know what is the issue, we don't know why is the issue, but just awareness is step 1. And very often, this much is enough to seek help. If you are at step 1 and you feel you don't know how to proceed, please go and speak to a therapist or a psychiatrist and let them take you through the remaining steps. But for now in this video, I am going to tell you what the remaining steps are. Step number 2 is understanding what is the problem. Now, how do you go about this? See, the tricky thing about mental health when compared to physical health is that when it comes to mental health issues, we have a tendency to deny things or lie to ourselves. We don't like to accept that something is wrong because it almost feels personal. It almost feels like you're saying that there's something wrong with you, as opposed to if there is a knee pain, you're able to say, "Nay, my knee is hurting, it's not me." That is the problem with mental health issues, and that's why people take so long in admitting that they are struggling. And that's also why people struggle with understanding what is the issue. And one of the ways of getting past this problem is by writing. I've already made a video on why journaling is so important. And if you want to see that, the link is right here. But journaling or writing down your thoughts allows you to explore your own state of mind better, and you gradually gain a deeper understanding of what is it that is bothering you so much. Now remember that the earlier you spot a problem and start understanding it, the easier it is to solve. Coming back to the knee pain example, suppose if you've just started having knee pain and you've immediately spotted it, and if you go to a doctor, they'll be able to treat you much better. But suppose if your knee has been hurting for a few months now and it has gradually started getting swollen and it is red and you're unable to walk and you go to the doctor, then isn't it much more difficult to treat it? It's very similar with mental health. If you spot the problem early and if you're able to find out what is the issue early on, it is a much easier problem to solve. So after step number 1, which is confirming there is a problem, step number 2, which is understanding what is the problem, comes step number 3, which is to understand why is there a problem? What has led to this situation? What has caused you to have this problem today? And usually the answer is always in the past, because just like physical problems, mental problems don't come out of nowhere. There is always something that has led to this, and the answers might lie maybe in your childhood, maybe in your teenagers, maybe some experiences you've had in the past few years of your life. All of these things add up to certain behavior patterns and thought patterns that you have that has led to this situation today. And understanding this chain of causality is important if you want to fix it. In physical medicine, we call this etiology and risk factors. For example, if somebody has a heart attack today, it means that over the last few years, some things have happened in their heart, in their blood vessels that has led to this event. Similarly, in mental health as well, it is important to catch the early signs so that we can take the necessary steps at the necessary time. And here again, both journaling honestly and speaking to a therapist will help you go through this process much better. And finally comes the solution part. Now that you've understood that there is a problem, what is the problem and why did this problem happen, we have to fix it. Usually the solution is in the form of having difficult conversations, mostly with yourself, but also with people that you love. Now, why are these conversations difficult? Because these conversations will be about things that you have done to hurt them, or they have done to hurt you, or mostly things that you have done to hurt yourself. And this again is where a therapist really helps, because they help you navigate these conversations in a safe way so that they don't spiral out of control or you don't feel helpless in the middle of it. Now, no conversation on mental health can be complete without talking about the importance of physical health in your mental state. Remember that your mind does not exist in a vacuum. Health of your mind is directly related to how healthy your brain is, and everything affects the health of your brain. What you eat, how much sleep you get, how much you exercise, what environment are you living in, all these factors directly affect the health of your brain, which in turn translates to your mental health. So please remember that you have to take care of your physical health when you are talking about improving your mental health. If you want to learn more about how sleep affects you and what kind of exercise you should do and what kind of food you should eat, check out the links in the description. I've made videos on all these topics and you can watch them all to get a complete understanding of how to improve your mental health. And finally, we have to talk about medications. There are several medications for anxiety, for depression, and these have been life-saving. Millions of people around the world have benefited from taking these medications, and if your therapist or your psychiatrist decides that medications are the right approach for you, trust them. Medications are there to help you get better, but remember that medications are not the cure for everything. They are only a support system, and they are not a substitute for you taking care of your sleep, for you taking care of your body, and for you working on yourself by journaling and having those difficult conversations. Medicines help you do all these things better so that you can improve. Now, an important thing to mention here was a study that was published in the British Medical Journal very recently that showed how exercise forms like yoga, dance, and even resistance training, weightlifting are all as effective as medications when it comes to treating things like depression, and combining medications with these exercise forms can be so much more effective. So remember that improving your mental health is a multifaceted strategy. There are many things you have to do, but when it all comes together, your journey becomes so much easier. This topic is a difficult one, it is a long one, and I'm sure there are many nuances that I have missed out on in this video. If there are any questions that you have, any other aspects to this conversation that you want me to cover, let me know in the comments below. I'm pretty sure that I will be making more videos in this series of how to improve your mental health. In the meantime, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video series with your friends and your family on your WhatsApp groups. I truly believe that this is a conversation that needs to happen in our families, especially in India, where awareness of mental health is still not as much as we would like it to be. I will see you all in the next video. Bye everyone. Take care.